Oh, welcome back. So you have already had a chance to choose your title for your essay. You could choose between Greed Will Get You Killed, or Black Death, Gold Death, Red Death, or Sin Begets Sin, or Death's Lesson, or Greedy Tale, Greedy Teller. So hopefully you have now chosen one of those. We've organized the sample or example together. Now let's go over some quick expectations for TDA writing today. No talking, unless you're talking to me. This room has to be a place where people can concentrate. They can't concentrate if you're running your mouth the whole time. So you got to make sure that people can read and write and think without you getting in their ear. Two, be prepared to help yourself. Never just sit there. Use the sample essay, use the sentence starters, use the pre writing, use the examples I gave you. Number three, Surface has a help desk for portions of the period. You will have to wait. Never just sit there. Sitting there and doing nothing is the number one possible worst thing you can do today. And number four, look at the rubric, the rubric, the rubric. And you can see the rubric right here, right? 50 points, 25, 25. So a total of 100 points today. That's a ton, right? So that means today's got to be your big day. Go to that rubric, make sure you're doing what it asks you to do. All right. So let's take a closer look at what we're working on today, which is a TDA based on this prompt at the top. Go ahead and switch on the highlighter and put it on mustard yellow. Greed leads to sin. So it is with irony the partner tells the tale of three bandits hunting death. Analyze the theme of greed in the partner's tale. I'm going to take my pencil, switch it to black, and shrink this just a little bit. And I'm going to get rid of the word analyze. And once I do that, once I get rid of that direction word, I'm now going to have a thesis statement, or the beginnings of one. And it'll read like this: the theme of greed in the partner's tale is illustrated when, and then three reasons can follow, right? You'll have reason, the first one, which might be something along the lines of the thieves plot to kill cut. And then you'll have number two, and then finally number three, right? This plan that they make to murder their fellow uh, robber is going to be just the concentration of one paragraph, just one body paragraph. We'll give it our full attention. Boom. Oops. Okay. All right. It's not wanting me to move it. All right. So that'll be the first one. The second one is likely to be uh, another reason. And then the third will be its own paragraph and a third reason. So you've got to find those other two. You are certainly welcome to steal mine. And then that same one from earlier will go right down here. Let me show you an example of what a body paragraph might look like answering this prompt. Let's go to slide 13. All right, so we've decided that we're going to analyze the theme of greed in the partner's tale. We're going to reread part of the partner's tale. Oh, Cut decided at once that since Dip was the youngest, he should take the smallest share. They both nodded to themselves and settled back to counting the gold. This time there seemed to be 999 or 783 or perhaps 870, but did not change their opinion that Dip should have less. So they're planning to kill Dip. Oh, my favorite. So they're not going to kill Cut. They're planning to kill Dip. Okay. Crisis averted. So, of course, it won't go far between the three of us, Grab mused. Not with the cost of living how it is, and you know how Dip squanders money. No, he'll soon have spent all his. Oh, to spend all your money quickly. That must be what squanders means. Connect those. He'll be asking to borrow from us, but I can't spare any of mine, said Cut anxiously. No more I. is little enough to share out between little and three, and they lapsed into silence, and above them the oak's heavy branches groaned while the gold coins clinked their fingers. Supposing, said Cut, just supposing Dip was to meet with an accident on his way from town. So many thieves these days, said Grab, nodding sadly. So many ruffians and murderers. Yeah, like y'all. Why would you all turn on your friends so quickly? And this theme of greed, what? You can't share anything? You can't let anybody borrow anything? He'll be asking to borrow for us, but I can't spare mine. Well, that's greed, so I'm putting a check mark right there. All right, so I've got my story read. Let's take a look at what someone could do with this information. All right, turn on that highlighter in the mustard yellow. Greed leads to sin, so it's with irony the partner tells the tale of three bandits. Well, greed leads to sin seems important. Analyze the theme of greed in the partner's tale. Use the text to support your answer. All right, well, the theme, and the theme is the central idea, so I'm going to put a box around this guy so that it matches, because he's got a big idea, you can tell. The partner is dismissed by the wife of Bath, politely chided by the knight. So we're going to switch over to blue, and I'm going to put a blue square here around the partner who's getting the business. The partner persists in telling a story intended to scare its listeners into giving money for spiritual pardons. The story begins in the Tabard Inn, where we meet our main character and his companions Dip and Cut. They agree that death has taken too many and too much from the world, and they set out to find death and kill him. They meet an old man who says he cannot die. They harass him but move on. Then they discover a pile of gold in the woods. They forget their mission and all begin scheming, how to keep the treasure for themselves. And there's that greed again. So I'm going to highlight that one yellow because it's bringing us back to our um, prompt at the top. They all tried to deceive one another despite claiming they will all be three kings of thieves. Once the youngest Dip is sent to town for provisions, the scheming takes on more urgency for Grab and Cut. All right, and then Grab and Cut are over here in green, and you can see them scheming. This is after they harass the old man. So we can put a blue box around the old man harassment, and we can get the old man right there. Highlight them. Perfect. So they all try to deceive one another, proclaiming they'll all be three kings of thieves. Once the youngest Dip is sent to town for provisions, the scheming takes on more urgency for Crab and Gut. And here they are scheming on them, getting ready to stab them. Of course, you realize we can't divide it three ways, right? You see him whispering to it with his hand by his mouth. Just supposing Dip was to meet with an accident on his way back from town. So many ruffians and murderers, and you can see there's a little knife in his hand, and ruffians and murderers over here. Now I'm going to switch over to purple. This greedy scheme to murder their companions for a greater share of the treasure ultimately gets all three killed. I'm going to highlight all three killed. I'm going to put a box around all three dead characters down here. If they were not so greedy, then they could have actually been king of thieves. Their important shared flaw of greed shows the audience of pilgrims that greed is a sin that creates more wrongdoing. So that's what a sample one would look like. Your job is this. You'll be writing your TDA on paper today. We'll be stapling this blue rubric that you see here. But once you're done, you will be taking the time to go to vocaroo.com. It should be bookmarked for you. You'll go to vocaroo.com. If not, you just go to Google and find it there. You'll click on and you'll read your written down TDA. So your written down TDA, you might record and just say, the theme of the guest and the partner's tale is illustrated when the two thieves turn on the youngest. The partner is dismissed by the wife of Bath, politely chided by the knight, and criticized by the sea captain for his greedy do-nothing spiritual pardons. The partner persists, etc., etc. Right? You'll say all that, everything that you wrote today. You'll save it. You go to save and share. You'll click the double box. You'll go to your Pear Deck, and you will put this right on this page here. So later I can listen to it, and you can also listen to your own writing, which will help you improve. Thanks for all your patience. Good luck. Go get them. Remember these expectations here, and You may begin.